Taurus, welcome to a life path reading for February, Marchish, going up into the springtime, which is, approximately 2 months, a little bit less than that. It's Raina here. How do you like that intro? Yeah, so, this is just a variation on my monthly tarot reading. I wanted to do something a little different, just kind of philosophical. Where are you standing? Where have you been? That sort of deal. So let's see what. And I can't get away from relationships. Why is that? And I kind of like banned relationships from this, and then I was drawing so many cards that had to do with relationships, and I realized, relationships are part of somebody's life path, and sometimes they fit in a lot more than they do at other times when you're more solitary or just involved in your career, even if you're with someone. So I don't want to just leave everything out. Wow, you got some good cards here. As a matter of fact, it's funny, speaking of love, you've got a bunch of cups. And it's funny, okay, I'll tell you what you got here. You've got how many cups? 1, 2, 3. So I only picked 6 cards. 3 of them are cups. And then out of those cards, Page of Cups is connected to Pisces. The Hangman is a major arcana card, and that's connected to Pisces. And then you have Hierophant. And I think even the 9 of Cups can be Jupiter and Pisces. I'm not sure, though. So it might be a strong Pisces. If there's a person who's a Pisces in your life, then this is a little message to you about that. Okay. So I am going to include relationship, I guess, just because of what is going on here. Okay, and Cancer. Oh, the Chariot is Cancer. So the water and so both of these water signs. What is front and center for you right now is represented by the 2 of Cups, which is a card of reconciliation, getting back with somebody. Sometimes this can be committing to someone. So if you're at a stage, I shouldn't get specific here because that can happen at any age, but I think a big time is in one's late 20s or early 30s, especially when there's that, maybe even to the mid 30s, where there's that time of okay, I've had my fun, or I've, been single for quite a while, and now I want to actually settle down. And so Taurus people tend to be pretty good about settling down, being okay with it, actually preferring it than just kind of sowing your wild oats. But some of you with inner plants in Gemini may be a little bit late to that party. Also, another thing too is that this can be a card of forgiveness or going into partnership with someone. But like I said before, it can be like getting back with somebody. I hope I said that at the beginning. As I record this, we have Mercury retrograde, and that can certainly mean that you're going over old ground. Sometimes people resurface in your life at this time during Mercury retrograde. So be on the lookout for that. Maybe it's already happened. Who knows? But in terms of career matters, I could see you going into business with somebody else in particular, but also maybe I would say even a silent partnership. Maybe you're the silent partner. That looks to me, when I look at that again, I'm sure that there is some connection with. It almost looks like a medical kind of a thing, like the AMA, how they have their That's what it looked like to me, like some kind of a business that has a health angle, but that was just something that jumped out at me. So anyway, um, that's what's happening right now. And this may be, if you have met somebody who really is someone important that really strikes you as the one or something like that, then that can certainly be a major deal for your life path, because it can show that you're going to go into a whole new direction. And so, yeah, I mean, I have to include relationships in these readings because they are just too appropriate. How can somebody be too appropriate? Okay, so last year, what we have here is you had the Chariot, which is actually a very good card for professional matters, for instance. This is a card connected to Cancer. And you see these two, I was like saying sphinxes. I guess that's what they are. Are they like dogs and lion combinations? I don't know. But anyway, one is black and one is white, and these represent duality, and the person is standing in a position of authority between them to indicate the power over the binary mind, or the black and white type of mentality. In other words, conquering duality. And the point of that is that I think a lot of people in Taurus can really get caught up in this, can get caught up in the two polarities. And the two polarities are anything in your life where you think this is the right thing and this is the wrong thing. And when you're making decisions and you frame it that way, as this is the right thing, this is the wrong thing, it's too simplistic. And it also, it doesn't really cover everything that's going on. So it's that ability to, and I think that's what successful people who are consistently successful are, people who do not allow themselves to get ensnared or trapped by the black and white judgments that society tends to lure us with. And so how this might have manifested in your daily life is if you were, at a job that maybe you, this is also a card, I should say, of success too. But, looking at it also from the non-dualistic perspective, which is kind of like the Buddhist perspective, is that maybe you were doing something where you didn't feel like it was your calling, but you did it really well. So you did not allow the fact that you were, working someplace that wasn't your dream job to stop you from giving your all to it. That's just one example, but it could have made you successful because you persevered and you didn't allow kind of distractions to get to you. And that's the other thing too, is allowing distractions. So if you had a kind of a lot of stuff going on last year, well, who didn't, right? But, and that's an example. I see some of these businesses that are reopening, and they have been pretty cut back for a lot of the year, or a portion of the year where I live. And I'm just so grateful that some of them did survive, because what I noticed is that, I'm talking about specifically like restaurant type of places, is that they really adapted, and they kind of thought of innovative ways to deal with the restrictions they were faced with. And so the same thing applies to you. Some people, they just are very rigid and they find it very hard to adapt. So perhaps you were able to do something that led to a victory, whatever that means for you, Taurus. So you can reflect on that if there's something you can think of specifically. Because this is a very positive reading. So I think, now that I think about it, I think Taurus could, is the kind of sign that would fare well under these circumstances, because you're very patient. and you're very level. And when things are going crazy, Taurus is the rock. So, I shouldn't be surprised, come to think of it. What is coming in is the Nine of Cups. This is the card of wish fulfillment. This is a very positive card, but it's like the emotional outcome of when you feel like really good about something. In law of attraction, I'm talking about Abraham Hicks. They always talk about, really feel it. And I've heard other guides for manifestation say a similar thing, like that you really have to embody it. You have to feel it for it to really, manifest in you in some way. And that means that you have to tune into it. And I feel like you're going to have something that some kind of a development comes that makes you feel that you have been satisfied emotionally. But there's actually even a financial connection to this card, maybe because it is associated with Jupiter, that the person can feel, can experience prosperity as well. So that could be a good card for that is coming in. Actually, interestingly, Jupiter is briefly going into Pisces in the spring and early summer times in the Northern Hemisphere. So think about May to like July, something along those lines. So maybe that's a timing card of when things really start to kick up and get good for you. Jupiter, when it goes into your 11th house, it's in your 10th house right now. When it goes into your 11th house, this is the house of hopes and wishes. So that can just, and the traditional astrologers consider it the luckiest house. Jupiter is the luckiest planet. So you do the math, Taurus. You do the math. You're good at math, right? So yeah, so maybe that's a timing card of when things will really start to come in for you in a big way. The advice is the Hangman, which is a card of kind of like, I was going to say just chilling, but actually it's about surrender. And a lot of people get nervous when you say that word surrender. They say, I'm not going to quit. I don't have any reason to quit. And they're talking about, whatever it is that they're trying to accomplish. And no, that's not what surrender means. And that's not what I mean. Surrender means that you let go of the need to control the situation, that you're willing to let go and let God. And that's a theme of this card. And really, it's about faith. It's about the fact that you are, that you believe that the universe has your back and that you're not, the world isn't against you. Because people who believe the world is against them are obviously going to feel that no good is going to come out of anything that happens. And of course, we don't want people to think like that because, first of all, it doesn't serve you. I mean, it's not going to make your life better, but also it's not true. So you don't want to think untrue things. The Hangman is about a holding pattern, although in this case I would say a waiting period. So for those things to come in for you, there may be a little bit of a waiting period. And as I stated, if that Nine of Cups is a timing card, then that could be in that late spring, after you've had your solar return, maybe in May. I don't have it all in front of me, but I remember that Jupiter's going into Pisces around that time. So it's just about, being patient and going with the flow. The outcome is the Hierophant. Now, this is a card that can be associated with marriage, with the clergy, your spiritual path, which I think is growing, Taurus. and it's associated with your card. Did I say that? I mean, with your sign. So for sure, anyone who is a Taurus person, perhaps this is going to be your year, where you're going to have things happen that you'd never expected to happen. With Jupiter in your sign, Uranus in your sign, that could certainly be the case, where surprising events happen, but in a good way surprising. And it's just a matter of keeping the faith. It's a matter of, that's kind of what I would say with the Hierophant, is keeping the faith, but also developing your, I was going to say developing your faith, but I don't like the word faith when I talk about God, because it's almost like believe in Sky Daddy and he'll take care of you. It's really about, exploring your consciousness. And that can come through meditation and other practices. But I don't even mean necessarily that mystical, just connecting with something higher than yourself. And viewing the world in more than just this mundane daily grind that we find ourselves in. This is a card of marriage. This is a card of tradition. So if you're getting back with somebody or you're committing with someone, this can be a really lucky time for you. And maybe you have to wait, but if you are looking to get married, then this spread seems to suggest that. And yes, that is part of one's life path. If you are someone who has been kind of waiting to hear about a corporate job, that could be coming down the way. I always see the Hierophant as part of that, structure. And I see it as that kind of work too, where you have to conform to the ideals of a certain company, like the company culture. Okay, Taurus, that's what I have for you. I hope that resonated. If you would like a personal reading, the link is below. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.